General. Aviation mechanic privileges and limitations. What title and part of federal regulations prescribes the certification requirements for a mechanic? 14 CFR Part 65. Name at least 3 recent experience requirements for a mechanic. Worked with FAA approval for at least 6 months within the preceding 24 months under the privileges of the mechanic certificate. Technically supervised other mechanics. Supervised maintenance or alteration in an executive capacity, or been engaged in any combination of 2, 3, or 4. What is the change of address requirement for mechanics? Notify the FAA in writing within 30 days after any change in permanent mailing address. What type of work may a certificated mechanic accomplish on aircraft? A mechanic may perform or supervise maintenance, preventive maintenance, or alterations. A mechanic may not perform or supervise major repairs to or major alterations of propellers. What is the mechanic privilege limitation associated with instruments? A mechanic may not perform or supervise any repair to or alteration of instruments. What may a mechanic approve for return to service? The holder of a mechanic certificate may approve an aircraft, airframe, engine, propeller, or appliance for return to service as provided in 14 CFR Part 65. What may a mechanic use as a guide for determining whether a repair is a major repair or minor repair? 14 CFR Part 43 Appendix A. What privileges are allowed an airframe mechanic in addition to performing maintenance? A certificated mechanic may perform and approve for return to service an airframe following a 100-hour inspection. May a certified airframe mechanic perform maintenance on engines? No, except under the supervision of a certified power plant mechanic. What are the privileges and limitations of a certificated mechanic with an airframe and power plant ratings regarding performing major repairs or alterations and approval for return to service? A certificated mechanic with airframe and power plant ratings may perform major repairs or alterations except on propellers and any repair or alterations of instruments, but can approve the work done for return to service. What is the duration of a mechanic's certificate? It is effective until surrendered, suspended, or revoked. How long is a temporary certificate in effect? 120 days. When may a person apply for a mechanic certificate after revocation of his or her certificate? After 1 year, unless the order of revocation states otherwise. What must a mechanic do if temporary certificates is older than 120 days? The certificate has expires. Request assistance from an FAA office. What privileges are allowed a power plant mechanic in addition to performing maintenance? A certificated mechanic may perform and approve for return to service a power plant following a 100-hour inspection. What maintenance can a pilot perform, and what are the limitations? A pilot may perform and approve for return to service preventive maintenance on an aircraft owned or operated by him or her and not used in air carrier service. When may a mechanic not employed by a repair station perform an annual inspection? When the mechanic holds an inspection authorization. May a certificated mechanic supervise and approve or disapprove for return to service the inspection of an aircraft? No. A certificated mechanic may not supervise but must perform inspections in order to approve or disapprove return to service. What ratings are issued under a mechanic's certificate? Airframe and Powerplant.